This section is entitled Youth Volunteer Recruitment Plan, ages 16 through 25. Regardless of your volunteer target group, the recruitment process will follow these same guidelines. However, for the purposes of this section, we will streamline recruiting youth volunteers aged 16 through 25. This type of intentional recruiting requires each guideline to be targeted towards that group. What is volunteer recruitment? Attracting and inviting people to consider involvement with your organization. Why is this important? Volunteers provide services and perform tasks which help to keep organizations vital. How do you recruit young volunteers? Answer: plan. Following your organizational analysis, you should be able to compile a list of jobs you have available for volunteers. Select the jobs which require those that are energetic, enthusiastic, and creative, but may have very little experience and or very few professional skills. What is the benefit of recruiting volunteers aged 16 through 25? This volunteer group will likely have open minds, be acceptable to change, and possibly become long-term volunteers. Recruitment planning involves assessing your image, deciding how to recruit, developing your message, and finding, selecting, and screening volunteers. This section, however, will highlight the first 4 steps. First, assess your image. Volunteers like to feel that their contribution makes a difference. Consider what is important to today's youth population. What are the new trends and popular issues? This can be achieved through surveys, local surveys, web surveys, community surveys. Be able to answer questions regarding your organization's successes and failures. Its mission and characteristics that distinguish your organization from others doing similar work. Why? Clearly understanding your organization better enables you to stress the positives, correct misconceptions, and target the people who would feel comfortable affiliating with your organization. Assess your image continued. Organizational publicity and marketing should effectively tell what your organization is and what it does. Marketing and publicity should associate your organization with adding value to the community. One option is to highlight the mission and client base. Try to describe your clients so that prospective volunteers can decide if they will feel comfortable working with your population. One option for accomplishing this is to address possible stereotypes by showing a video, slideshow, or even photographs. Another option is to clarify what qualifications and backgrounds are desired for your population base. Next, make volunteers visible within the organization. Use the public bulletin board to promote news about young volunteers. Decorate it with photographs and include a pocket for flyers on volunteer opportunities. Make sure those are targeted towards your target group, ages 16 through 25. Second, decide how to recruit. The campaign is the most important part of deciding how to recruit. Your campaign should serve several purposes, including public education, building the public image of your organization or cause. Typically, the first volunteers you recruit are for organization's board of directors. Who do you choose for your board of directors? Again, for our streamlined group of volunteers ages 16 through 25, you can search for high school students, college students, and even graduate students. Next, choose a method to recruit volunteers. Consider the time each possible method will require to plan, develop, and execute, as well as the time it will require to deliver and maintain the number of volunteer positions you are seeking to fill. Decide how to recruit continued. Possible recruitment methods include using current young volunteers. Of course, they are convincing salespeople because they are committed to your cause already and believe in your organization. Using the mass media. Examples include television, commercials of course, radio, airtime commercials, newspapers, billboards, as well as neighborhood newspapers, newsletters, and organizational bulletins. Posting volunteer opportunities on appropriate websites. Websites can include your organization's personal website. It could include social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to name a few. Next, making personal appearances at schools, career fairs, and other venues or events. Again, remember to target areas that youth age 16 to 25 are in high number. Promote your organization's public value to young people. School services, grants, tutoring, etc. Coordinate with schools that require community service hours for graduation. And lastly, and most importantly in this case, asking people to volunteer. Studies show that most people volunteer because they are asked. Go to schools and colleges, present your mission, and make your requests. Third, developing your message. Your recruitment message should be inviting and encourage people to become involved with your organization. Tailor your message towards young people and demonstrate ways in which their youth and jovialness can benefit your purpose. Developing your message continued. When evaluating your recruitment message, ask these 4 questions. Question 1. Does the message honor the volunteer? Question 2. Is the message tailored to a target audience? Question 3. Does my invitation describe the needs of our clients or organization? Question 4. Who in the organization can best deliver this message? In the case of targeting young people, look for someone who appeals to young people, maybe a youth themselves. Fourth, finding volunteers. One great resource for finding volunteers are VSOs. VSOs are faith-specific and non-denominational volunteer service organizations. They provide volunteers to work full-time for a prescribed period of time for positions within the community. There are several benefits for using VSOs. Some of those include that organizations screen their volunteers and are united by mission of service, including working for social justice and living simply. The organizations included are listed below. Finding volunteers continued. Volunteer referral services help potential volunteers find positions that fit well with their skills, interests, and availability. Well, how do I receive these volunteers, you ask? Register with any clearinghouse, database, directory, or program offering volunteer referral services in your area. Volunteer referral services may be citywide, countywide, statewide, or nationwide. Who offers these services? The Points of Light Foundation and Volunteer Center National Network has a directory of local and regional volunteer centers. Finding volunteers continued. Again, who is our target group? Youth ages 16 through 25. Great resource are students. Many high schools require community service for students to graduate. College students can offer professional level services with a connection to a university, as well as they often have academic supervision. Resources to find these students are listed below. What is the benefit of recruiting students? Many students become interested in a cause and motivate their parents to donate their time as well as their money. The The information in this section has been provided by Successful Strategies for Recruiting, Training, and Utilizing Volunteers, a guide for faith and community-based service providers. Thank you for watching this section. Stay tuned for the selection and screening sections.